Welcome to the West Ham Transfer Rumour Show. Hope we're all doing well. It feels like it's been a few days since we got the pink book out and had a look at the rumours, doesn't it? Not helped by the Nayef Aguerd situation over the last few days, but that's finally come to an end. It's nearly complete. It's complete, but I like to leave a little bit of wiggle room, so shall we just say it's nearly complete? But it's expected that on Monday afternoon, Aguerd will be officially announced as a West Ham United player. David Moyes will finally have his man. So fingers crossed for no last minute hiccups, no last minute hijacks, and West Ham will have their first major summer signing on Monday afternoon. But who will be the second one? Well, hopefully Areola. Who will be the third one? His name might be in the pink book this afternoon. We've got a few rumours to get through. Some old ones, some players that are consistently being linked to West Ham United, and some new players as well. I like discussing new players. I've also got a couple of favours to ask you, as well as promote the OneFootball app. But before we do all that, let's dive straight in with the first rumour, which is Dwight McNeil. Now, there's two sides of the coin here for me, so let's start with the positive side. Let's be positive, get a little bit negative, and then finish positive with Dwight McNeil, shall we? I think he's a great player. I do. I think he is a really, really good player. I think he ticks a lot of the boxes for David Moyes. His work ethic, the crosses that he can put in, he regularly takes set pieces for Burnley. There's a lot that David Moyes would like. 22 years of age, the experience he's got for somebody at 22 years of age is brilliant as well. Let's move on to the negative side quickly. He was one of the most disappointing players in the Premier League for me. Whenever we played Burnley and we did our match preview, I said that on both times, and I have to be consistent, and it's my honest opinion. But you look at the numbers, no goals, 1 assist. 40 games last season for Burnley in all competitions, no goals, 1 assist. That is not good enough. I seen McNeil at Burnley as almost their most creative player. They needed a bit of a spark. They needed a good cross into the box for Wood or Weghorst to get on the end of. It was going to come from Dwight McNeil, but it didn't. 1 assist all season. The numbers are really, really bad. There is obviously some circumstances around that. Chris Wood left in January, but even in the first half of the season, it's not like Chris Wood was banging in the goals that McNeil was swinging the ball in for. That really, really poor numbers, and his lack of performances, if you like, I think is a big contributor to why Burnley got relegated. I think if Dwight McNeil turns up and plays as well as he can throughout the season, I think they get more goals through his assists and him scoring, and it might have just been enough to keep him up. So that's the negative side done. Back to positivity. I would like to see him at West Ham United. Like I said, for the experience as well, but he also plays on the left-hand side. His best position, I think, is on the left-hand side. His poor form, along with Burnley's relegation, I think he's the 5th player we've been linked to from Burnley this summer. Who we got? We've got Pope, Tarkowski, Brownhill, Cornet, McNeil. There might have been 1 or 2 other sporadic ones that I've missed. So I think that's the 5th Burnley player we've been linked to, which is understandable given that whenever a team gets relegated in Premier League, they get linked to other Premier League clubs. We're linked to Watford players, not Norwich ones though, because there's no one good enough, but we're linked to some Burnley players as well. But the reason I would like to see him come in, I think the value would be reasonable because of his poor form. I think his poor form would sort of knock his price down a little bit. I don't know, about 15 million I would expect to pay for Dwight McNeil, maybe a little bit more because you're almost buying potential. He's homegrown as well, ticks that box. But the main reason I would like him is because I almost think that's the type of player that Moyes would work really well with. I think Moyes would get the best out of McNeil. But the main reason is the fact that he plays on the left-hand side. Now, obviously, it wouldn't quite be the same as Jared Bowen because he's left-footed playing on the left and Bowen's left-footed playing on the right. But he's played in plenty of positions for Burnley, and that's the other thing. Dyche regularly played him on the right, would often, I say often, occasionally play him down the middle. Not necessarily, sometimes centre midfield, but sometimes sort of as a second striker. Dyche liked to have 2 strikers, and if there were shorter numbers up front, now and again you would see Chris Wood up there with McNeil playing just behind him as a second striker. So you can play across our front 3, no doubts about it. But we have a vacancy for that sort of left wing position at West Ham, don't we? You get our piece of paper, you write down the players that are going to be starting next season. Bowen's got the right hand side locked down, Zuma's definitely in there, Declan Rice is obviously definitely in there. But then when it comes to the left hand side of the midfield, it's like, well, not really sure. Maybe Ben Rama, maybe Fornals, maybe Lanzini, we're not really sure. Dwight McNeil can not necessarily walk him, could certainly earn that space. I would like to see Dwight McNeil with the shackles off a little bit. At Burnley, he played in a traditional left midfield, didn't he? Probably had more defensive duties to do with Burnley than what he would have to do at West Ham, where he'd have a little bit more cover from the centre midfield aspect, so he could probably play 5-10 yards further forward. We know Mikel Antonio's really good in the air. We know Thomas Souček's really good in the air. And Dwight McNeil is fantastic at crossing from open play. I know he only got 1 assist last season, but it doesn't mean he's turned crap overall. He's just had a really crap season for Dwight McNeil. His crossing is brilliant. When he's on his game, Dwight McNeil's crossing from open play from that left hand side is delicious. And I would quite like to see Mikel Antonio getting on the end of Dwight McNeil's crosses. So Dwight McNeil to West Ham United is a massive yes from me. I hope these rumours are true. And then it's the domino effect, isn't it? Getting Aguerd in, there's a domino effect, which is now we can move Diop on. If you get in someone like Dwight McNeil, the domino effect is Moyes can now choose if he's going to sell Benrahma and or Vlasic, because we've already got the replacement at the club. We can move them on. So yeah, out of all the left wingers we've been linked to, Dwight McNeil is probably the one that tickles my fancy most. There's probably better players, but their price tag goes up. And like I said, I'm just wary of how much West Ham really have to spend this summer. I don't think it's as much as some people are expecting. I don't think it's as less as some people are expecting though. I've always felt 70 million-ish is what we'll spend. I think McNeil for 15 million-ish, if that's the price tag, it might be greater than that. But anything over 20, I think it gets a little bit sketchy for me in terms of value. But 15, 20 million would be, I think it would be a bit of a bargain actually. I think it'd be a really good fit for West Ham. More importantly, a really good fit for David Moyes. So Dwight McNeil at London Stadium, it's a massive yes please from me. Now a couple of favours. First of all, if you could subscribe to this channel. So there's a number so far, 24574. So just under 500 away from 25,000 subscribers. If we could hit 25,000 subscribers for the start of the season, that would make me a very happy hammer. So if you could subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Roughly 1/3 of you watching this video do not subscribe to the channel. So get subscribed, it's completely free. And second of all, I've been putting a little bit of effort into my own channel, Tart and Geo. I'm covering the Premier League in general, and over the summer I'm trying to cover all the big transfers going around at all the other clubs. I've done one on Arsenal yesterday and one on Liverpool today. I know, why do you want to hear about Arsenal and Liverpool? This is for those that do. But I'd like to hit 2,000 subscribers over there. I only need 25 of you. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do. The link to my channel is in the description. And the video that I've done yesterday will be up at the end of this video for you to just click on and go have a watch. So if you want to know what's going on in the Premier League, I'm covering it over on my own personal channel. So you can head over there. It'd be much appreciated. Now, En-Nesyri. We all remember him. 18 months ago, David Moyes tried to get him. We sold Sebastian earlier. He went for En-Nesyri. We didn't get him. Sevilla didn't want to sell him. We couldn't get him. And he didn't want to move to West Ham United. So that was that. There were some rumours that we bid again last summer. And we still didn't get him. Now, the rumours are that he and Ocampos have been offered to West Ham United for 50 million euros. There's other reports suggesting that En-Nesyri is available for 21 million, which, as you know, is less than what we actually bid 18 months ago. 18 months ago, we were bidding 30, 40 million for him and we couldn't get him. So now, apparently, the asking price is 21 million. He's not had the best season, had a couple of big injuries as well, which has sort of derailed his season at Sevilla. I didn't think he was very impressive when we played them. I didn't see much about En-Nesyri that made me think, oh yeah, I'd like him at West Ham. However, Ocampos, completely different story. I thought, in the first leg in Seville, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. I thought he was pulling all the strings. He really stood out to me. So the rumours are that West Ham have been offered both players for 50 million euro. But the other rumours are West Ham can sign En-Nesyri if they wish for 21 million. Now, if the second one's true, the first one I'm going to dismiss a little bit. But the second one regarding En-Nesyri's availability, I can see why he would be available. Like I said, last season, it wasn't the best season for him at Sevilla, so I can understand that they were open to selling him this summer. But David Moyes' interest was genuine, which it was. David Moyes literally told us he bid for En-Nesyri. So, with that in mind, it'll be interesting to see if David Moyes goes back in for him. Because I guess the question is, should these rumours be true? The question to David Moyes is, do you still have faith in En-Nesyri? Do you... Because you've obviously done your scouting, you've gone through all your strikers and decided En-Nesyri is the one you want. And there is bits of his game I can understand. I've tried to keep an eye out for En-Nesyri in the last year or so because, well, we know David Moyes genuinely wants him. I think he presses quite well. I think he's quite fast. Physically, I don't think he's the greatest there. Haven't really seen him do too much in terms of creativity or that. So I'm a bit lukewarm on the player, but I'm not seeing enough. My own research is not enough. The data pool's not big enough. But the question is, David Moyes, do you still have faith in En-Nesyri? God, that's a tongue twister. David Moyes, do you still have faith in En-Nesyri? There you go. Being the striker at West Ham? Because if so, then surely we're going to go in for him if he's available. But if we don't go in for him, that would suggest David Moyes has been put off by him last season or has somebody else in mind. One of the two. It can't be anything else, really. The rumour price tag of 20 million makes him very affordable, you would like to think, wouldn't you? So that's the latest rumours in terms of En-Nesyri Ocampos. So, now we're moving on to Emmanuel Dennis and Ismaila Sarr. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. You can get this app downloaded to your phone and or device by clicking on the link in the description. It's completely free, so get it downloaded today. Keep up to date with all the transfer rumours around your club. Everything I'm speaking about today is on the OneFootball app. Get big notifications for the big news as well. So last night I got a notification from OneFootball to inform me that Declan Rice had been handed a 2-match ban by UEFA and will therefore miss both our playoff games in August for the Europa Conference League. So bad news for West Ham, but good news for me is I had the OneFootball app, so I got the notification to my phone, I clicked on it, and there it was in the article. Found out as soon as UEFA announced it thanks to the OneFootball app. Get it downloaded today. It asks what you want to follow. You choose what you follow. You don't see anything you don't want to see. You see what you want to see on the OneFootball app. Fantastic app for the football fan. Get downloaded using the link in the description so that they know you've come from Hammers Chat. Now moving on to Dennis and Sarr, the rumours this week are we are set to launch our bids for one player or both players. It's been tipped up as a double swoop in some, and others are saying we're going in for Dennis. Dennis on his own first and foremost. Around about 18 to 20 million is what our initial bid is expected to be. And then obviously Ismaila Sarr, we have an interest in him as well. I discussed him last time, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on either players because I've already gave you my thoughts on them. Now next up we've got a Sassuolo player, and no, it's not the other one, it's this one, Raspadori, who has a big future in the Italian game, just 22 years of age, 10 goals in 36 games last season. Reported fee is around about 25 million. Now I haven't seen loads of him, but I've heard loads about him. Is a striker, but can also play on the left, can play on the right, can play in sort of in the number 10 role as well. So it ticks those boxes for David Moyes. He's ticking a lot of the boxes. The age, him being versatile, good goal scoring record considering he's not always the out and out striker. Big things are expected of him in Italy. Will he stay at Sassuolo this summer? It's difficult because they've also got a really good attack and we've been linked to other players from there as well. But I can't say too much in terms of do I think we have interest in players in Serie A. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to think off the top of my head the last time David Moyes plucked somebody out of the Serie A league. There's probably someone that it's very obvious that I'm missing. So, but that's who we're being linked to. Now, James Ward-Prowse. The update on the rumour of James Ward-Prowse is his price tag is 70 million. Now, you know what you're thinking. Do one. I am thinking that as well. No chances he's worth 70 million to West Ham. And this is important. Before we all say Southampton are off their rocket, like they are. They're not getting 70 million for Ward-Prowse. But that's the point. This is West Ham with Declan Rice. They don't want to sell their captain. They slap 70 million on him and say, all of you, leave him alone. But if you do want him, you're going to have to pay through the nose for it. This is what we are doing with Declan Rice. So I don't blame Southampton at all. In fact, I quite like what we're seeing this summer. We're seeing West Ham with Declan Rice, Wolves with Ruben Neves, Southampton with James Ward-Prowse. We're all turning around to those clubs that are supposedly interested in them. And we're saying, yeah, you can have them, but it's going to cost you big money. We're starting to see this almost culture, if you like, in the Premier League of clubs away from the Sky Sports top 6 having a little bit of a spine, putting big price tags on their big players and saying you can have them, but it's going to cost you big time. So I completely get what Southampton's done. I think it's the right thing to do, but what I think it also does is price us out the move. Now, of course, when they say they want 70 million doesn't mean they'll accept anything less. 60 million, they might take that as well. But it's getting expensive, isn't it? I wasn't too keen on Ward-Prowse for 50 million because I felt there's better value out there for West Ham United. I'm I'm definitely thinking out of 70 million, that's for sure. Fantastic player, I just don't think he's worth that much money to West Ham. But if it's David Moyes' sort of #1 target for centre midfield, then is there such a thing as too much? Sadio Mane is leaving Liverpool to go join Bayern Munich, and he's been the perfect signing for Klopp. You know, it looked like an expensive fee. Look how that's worked out. He leaves a legend of Liverpool as far as I'm concerned. Now, Nikola Vlasic has been linked with a move away to Torino and Hajduk Split as well, the Croatian club. So he could be on his way out of West Ham United. As we know, the rumours are that he and Said Benrahma are up for sale. David Moyes is very much willing to sell one over both of them in this summer, so he's been linked with a move away. And then we've got Moussa Niakhate, who is a Mainz centre back over in the Bundesliga, 22 years of age. I think he's 22, I've not wrote it down. I think he's 22 years of age. He's their captain as well. Very good centre back. He's been linked to West Ham. Now, I'm dismissing this completely. Any centre back that we get linked to now, I'll mention it for the sake of mentioning it in the rumour show, because the point of this show is to keep you guys up to date with the latest rumours. But we're just not buying another centre-back. The only way we buy another centre-back is if Craig Dawson's decided to leave. There was some talk at the start of the summer. I say start, we're still at the start of the summer, aren't we? At the end of the season, that Dawson was perhaps willing or wishing to move back up north. I could kind of get it. At the end of the day, he's looking at Ogbonna coming back, and he's thinking, well, the season before last I played well, but then we signed Zuma and I got kicked out of the team, and Ogbonna and Zuma were the centre-backs. So I fully felt Ogbonna's probably going to take my place anyway, but now the gaffer's spending 25 million on a centre-back. So Dawson might be looking at it, I think I'm 4th choice centre-back now. But I'm just dismissing any links to centre-back. I think he'll end up joining Nottingham Forest, by the way. He's strongly linked to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest definitely need a centre-back for the Premier League. He's been linked to go to Forest, so nothing in this one. Anyway, that's it for your West Ham transfer rumours today. If there's any player that you're unsure of who I'm trying to pronounce, the link to their transfer market profiles is in the description below. The link to my channel is in the description below. The link to the OneFootball app is in the description below as well. So get that downloaded. Join my channel if you don't mind. And you can check out any player we have been linked to. Please drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new to the Hammers channel. No, please do. Yeah, we'd like to get 25,000 before the season starts. That would be nice. And I shall catch you tomorrow.